Welcome to Ingrid's Inspirational Hour. My name is Ingrid and I'm the producer of this show. The things you will hear over the next hour represent the views of Ingrid's Inspirational Hour and the people making them. All opinions and quotations in no way represent River West Radio and are the sole responsibility of the producer, guests, and callers. River West Radio is not liable for any legal issues arising from the content of this program. Happy Friday. It's July 20th, 2012. Before I left the house, it was 77 degrees. We reached a high of 80, I do believe. Tomorrow, there's possible thunderstorms and a high of 91. I'm waiting actually for Shelly to get here. Shelly Davis is supposed to be our guest today. So in the meantime, we're going to chit chat about what happened in Aurora, Colorado. And if she comes, great. So today's quote is, "Nature is at work. Character and destiny are her handiwork. She gives us love and hate, jealousy and reverence. All that is ours is the power to choose which impulse we shall follow." And that was by David Seabury. I'm still in a bit of shock from what happened at the movie theater in Aurora, Colorado. I think us as Americans should look at this as a fail. All of us. I think we should look at this as a fail to the school system, to parenting, and I think we all should be held responsible because of the desensitized youth that has been brought up for the past 20, 30 years. I believe that video games have a lot to do with how, a person without a criminal record can just kill people without any remorse. I would say that the video games trains them, you know. I've played a couple combat video games recently, and you know what? You're addicted to killing the people on the screen. Not every game has their characters looking like monsters. There's some games, that I wouldn't see being so bad for a child to play if the thing that they're eliminating doesn't look like a human. But there are other shows where it looks just like a person. They bleed, they scream, and it makes it easier to do what happens. It makes it easier to kill in person per se. The controller shakes, the noises, and you get excited for killing these people on the screen. So I think that's a big start of it. Also, I don't know this person's story personally, but I would say that I can guarantee you that bullying had a lot to do with this person feeling like nobody cared. Um, he had parents that loved him and everything. So, you can't blame it all on the parents. So, if anybody wants to call in and talk about what happened in Aurora, Colorado, please do. The number is 414-935-2951. I would love to hear what people have to say about this. I believe that I'm actually in a bit of mourning. I talked to my friend Clarissa right before I came on the air, and I told her that this is really upsetting me. And, what did we learn since 1999? What did we learn since February 20th, 1999? Did anything change? I don't know. I would hope that we can grow and learn that we're human beings and we're not just worker bees. We all have flesh. We're all imperfect. And it's this invisible persona that I believe that's put up that makes it harder for people who don't fit that category. And I actually can say that I can understand, excuse me, why one person would feel this way. I can understand why somebody would want to pay people back in such a horrible way, you know? I can see it from the accuser's eyes. And I feel like when a lot of this happens, people go, oh, the victims, the victims. Well, what brought a person to that level? You know, I think we need to start there. You know, because this isn't going to stop until we start treating each other with more respect. And actually listening. I saw a study a while back that said people in the United States have 0% friends, best friends. Let's think about that for a second. 0% best friends. That means you have no one that you can confide in. You know, families are quite busted up and all types of mixed and different right now. So I just feel like we need to go back to the basics. I've said this before, but not on this show. Is I just believe that all of us need to really go back to basics, you know, and learn to love each other more. That's why I have this show to encourage people not to give up, not to commit suicide, not to kill other people. My mission on this show is to bring people who will make you think and go, you know what, maybe tomorrow will get better. Instead of, you know, hearing about the news and how terrible this and that person is, you know. I just can't do that. So I do believe, I'm not mistaken, I do see Shelly Davis here. So all of her friends that are listening, you can give her a little grief when you call in. The number is 414-935-2951. I'm going to do a little bit of rustling about so I can get ready for her. So hang on. So what are your plans for the weekend, people out there? I don't think I have any plans. I think Shelly has something going on. I'll have to confirm that with her. I don't know if she wants that on the air, but if food's involved, I know people would like that, right? Yeah, we're live.
Right now at this moment?
Yeah.
Oh, while I'm chatting.
We started at 6, but, you know, it's all good. So how about... I told people before that you were coming up, so...
Oh, lovely.
How you been?
Good, and you?
Good.
I was looping around by our old stomping ground.
Oh, yeah?
Like 800, there's nothing here. And then east.
Oh, east, yeah.
I'm not the best with directions, so.
Okay. Now, put this on and let me know if you can hear yourself. I'm not good at this, but can you hear me on there?
No.
Okay. I'm going to try to get this. I'm going to have to get one of my handy guys to help me. I'm not too savvy, but
I understand.
grab number 2. Mic check.
This one here?
Yeah, can you hear yourself now?
testing myself. I don't think so. No, I don't think I can hear myself.
Okay. Well, we'll fix that, but that's your mic.
Hold on to this. Okay, gotcha.
You can put it on the stand. It's however you want. however you would like to be comfortable.
That should do.
The joy of live radio.
Right.
I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, look. See, I can hear myself, and it's hooked up through here.
Here, test this.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going crazy. Test through here. Testing.
Here, put those on and see if you
Oh.
can hear yourself. I just want you to be able to hear yourself.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, you can keep those. Because I don't know how to do that, but I know my mic's on.
Okay, perfect.
There you go.
There we go.
All right. So where was I? I was just chit-chatting until you got here about what happened in Aurora, Colorado, and how I feel like I'm mourning the people that died, you know.
I heard about it on. I don't watch news, TV.
Neither do I, but it was all on the
Facebook.
all
I
on
saw
the
it on
internet
Facebook.
too. So yeah, so rest in peace to all the people that died. So on the show today is Shelly Davis. I've known Shelly for a very long time. I think since middle school.
I think so. Yeah, Morris.
I went to Webster.
Oh no, then it was just North. Was it just North?
Oh, then it must have
It
been
was
just
just
North.
seems
North.
like forever.
It does, right?
Yep, for sure.
So you're an excellent speaker, and
Thank you.
my show is called Ingrid's Inspirational Hour because I feel like not just Milwaukee, but we all need to hear more positive stuff, especially after what happened. You know, my spirit is touched by it and dampered and a little down, and you know, I feel like people need to hear encouraging words and that everybody is not a bad person.
For sure.
So, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. This is
Our
a
little
cool
spot.
Yeah, this is a cool little spot.
So, when did you begin writing?
Oh man, I started writing poetry, I would say, in middle school. I would say I've always been a journaler, though. I have diaries and journals from like the 3rd grade. Mm-hmm. I still have them.
That's cool.
And then I've always been a lover of lyrics. So I was the little kid with the tape, like little kid, like 7, 8, writing out every lyric to every song from the radio.
Wow. And you would get a cassette and stop
I would
it?
keep stop,
Oh,
rewind,
yes.
stop, rewind, stop, rewind. Yeah. So that was me. So, but
I've done
poetry,
that.
probably middle school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So middle school is started, and then when did you start performing?
Probably around 2002, maybe something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's some people way before me in the city, but they brought me right in, and you know.
Well, I'm glad they did.
Yeah.
I actually remember seeing you at the gathering. I do believe that was, let me see, I wrote it down. That was in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
You were a guest speaker there. Monique was the
Yes,
main speaker. That day, I will never forget
crazy.
that day.
I just got sweaty and tingly just with you just saying it.
It was amazing, and I was so glad you were there because, you know, when you're let's say a Milwaukee celebrity, have you know, someone that's doing things in Milwaukee, you do shine and you are noticeable because it's not Hollywood. You know what I mean?
Certainly.
We're hometown. We're not Hollywood.
Yeah.
And, you know, I saw some people that I've recognized before, and then I was like, wow, Shelly's here. This is going to be good. I saw at least 3 standing ovations for you that day. And I was like, whatever she's doing, I'm just going to support her because they
Thank
needed
you.
that, you know.
Yeah, that day was wild. I only brought I didn't know what to expect. I had never been to the gathering, and I literally brought probably 20 CDs, 25 CDs.
Right,
and I was
when there was
like
hundreds of
bum
people.
rushed, and several people in my family kept going back and forth, burning stuff. Like we left and went home and burned some more CDs and came back, and then my mom stayed behind and finished.
Wow.
Like it was crazy.
Thirst for knowledge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, I've been telling people to listen in. So if you have something right now, I would love to hear it.
Yeah. Let me
set it up,
think
go
about
for it,
what. Let me
whatever
think
you wanna
about.
say.
Let me think about what. You would think I thought about this before, but I work today, my full time, life, and then
Well, I'm glad you came.
And then I'm preparing. I leave right here to go to the boat cruise, the murder mystery fireworks boat cruise that
that'd be
I'm a part
nice.
of. So, which is sold out. Otherwise, I'll promote it for next year.
Okay.
So I will do. I always lean towards Sister Separated when I'm in a new crowd. I don't know if you've heard that.
No, go for it.
But whenever I have a new audience, that's what I like to do.
Okay.
And it basically, I grew up, we grew up in school together. Women are very cliquey and, don't always speak highly of each other. And even friends are, saying different things behind
do
each
the
other's
same
back.
thing
So,
to you, yeah.
so it's one of those poems I say I wish it would get old. I wish I wouldn't have the urge to say it anymore, but so far it hasn't. But it holds me accountable for what I do and how I treat other people as well. So, sisters, we are separated, divided out by our skin shades, our accolades, and our escapades, when really all our hearts have been slain by some man whose love was in vain. We've all felt the same menstrual pains and even had our freshly done hair tousled in the rain, yet we can't stick together. Separated, we're too caught up in what she thought about this or said about that. Cat fights and bickering. You see, our life light is flickering just 'cause she's blowing wind or hot air. No, we don't dare stick together. Separated, swearing she made a funny glance when really she may have been admiring your pants, your stance, or perhaps you just reminded her of a past acquaintance. Whatever it is, our sisterhood's tainted. We've got frowning faces day to day, and we are so disrespectful as we lay our head in the bed of some other woman's man. Family portrait right there on the nightstand. See, we can't stand to stick together. No, we'd rather stand back and make accusations about the women that carry themselves gracefully. She can't just be confident. We label her conceited. Can't be proud of her accomplishments. She must be bragging, and she can't be driving that Lexus parked outside. No, that's got to be her man's. See, I can't understand why our sisterhood is so damaged when we all came packaged in the same afterbirth. We all share the same end of death. We all had to take baby steps before we could run. Still, somehow, our love for women of all shapes, sizes, and backgrounds got lost, and we go to all costs to not make eye contact as we pass each other by on these streets or in these clubs, too afraid of what she might be thinking, or perhaps we haven't made peace with ourselves, so the thought of saying, hey, girl, to someone else feels too strange. But can you imagine this world if we dared to be on one accord, how quick our world would soar, since our women from the beginning of time have held together lifelines, guided families, and fought back through tragedies, and we've carried our babies to see incarcerated daddies, held schooling, work, and been mommies all at the same time, created meals when there was nothing in the cupboard, cried a river of tears and kept going. We've consoled our babies, fathers, and mothers, been crutches to so many others in our lives, and if we tried, I know we could own at least half this universe with our strong minds, our strong will, and our determination, but we seem plagued with this false sense of security, causing other women to be the enemy. Y'all know we give a man more slack when he's cheating than a woman who may accidentally keep her eyes on you for more than 2 seconds. We address those fine men when they pass us by, but refuse to look our women square in the eye and smile or nod or at least say hello. Can we just lift each other up wherever we go? Give much respect. Let's learn to protect our image and stop neglecting our sisterhood. Can we just stand for the same cause? Pause on all that trivial backstabbing drama. Let's quit being baby mamas and drama queens and give honor to our strong black women. Start mending the rip in our lining so that together we all can shine peacefully, freely, and in unity. 'Cause in us all I see absolute power and beauty, but truthfully, we seem separated and we don't dare get along.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, when did you know that this was like a calling for you? I know you work and everything else, but when did you become a voice is my question.
That's a good question. Because that's kind of what it was. Like I performed, I still get nervous, but I was like really the shy one of the bunch.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I remember you were the shy one as long as I've known you.
Yeah.
So this is why I'm like, yes, you know.
So I think the way you said it, a voice, is exactly how I view it. I would have to say probably just about the last, I would say since about 2009 maybe, really understanding, like, I think it goes beyond me just writing. I think it's got to come from somewhere higher, because
For sure.
you know what I'm saying? So
I know.
So understanding that, and understanding that for me to be what I had to teach myself, selfish in not performing because I wasn't comfortable or didn't know if, somebody was going to like it or whatever, was not why God gave me the gift. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I've been going pretty consistently since about 2009.
You have to, like, and I can understand what you're saying, because I've just, like, jumped 2 feet into being an artist
Mm-hmm.
and calling myself an artist.
Mm-hmm.
And what people do is they'll rip you to shreds.
Yeah.
They'll go, how much is that? And I'm like,
Right.
excuse me, do you know how hard I worked on that? No,
Absolutely.
you don't. So, I've had people question, prices and all
Mm-hmm.
that.
For sure. People don't want to pay artists for what they
Exactly.
what they do. Especially in Milwaukee.
Exactly. You know exactly.
I love Milwaukee, but,
And so yeah, this is why I'm doing this show. I could have done any type of show. I could have just played music, but my show is focused on inspiring people, and I would much rather plant seeds like that and see them come about
Absolutely.
than to plant negativity.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of me saying it, I like other people to say it. So then people, my mouth is sealed.
Right.
Listen to somebody else say the same thing in a different light.
For
You know
sure.
what I mean? So yeah, that's how this came about.
Well, congrats to you also.
Thank you. I'm doing what God wants me to do too.
Mm-hmm.
And especially in how the world is looking now, we need all of the people who believe in God, who believe in just the human spirit, you
For
know.
sure.
I just feel like all of us are being worn down
Mm-hmm.
to just, you're not even a person.
Right. We
Just
go to work, we come home, we cook the meal, we do what, we
And
work
that's
hard,
it.
but we're not feeding our spirit, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Here's a question. How do you think our community today can get better? Like, what are you doing in your own way?
Well, one, I say blessed. I hate to say lucky. Blessed to be surrounded by a group of artists who do a lot of positive things, from workshops and whatnot. So as my schedule permits, of course, I work 40 hours a week.
Oh, wow.
But as my schedule permits, I go into the classrooms with them, and I always laugh and say I get fed, I think, more than the kids do sometimes. So, that kind of thing. I perform. I enjoy getting paid to perform. However, if it's something that is a community building thing, I certainly am in attendance, and if I'm asked to perform, generally do if my schedule permits.
Nice.
And I think just being comfortable enough to talk about my past experiences, like in hopes that someone else will remember it when it comes up for them,
Relate
instead
to
of
it.
yeah. I think as a society, we're taught to be shameful and very private about what we did in the dark, or as our parents get older, they're like, oh yeah, we don't talk about those years.
Oh, yeah. I'm still meeting people like that.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised where a lot of people are religiously bound, and well, what would your mother think? And and you're honestly, what they want to do isn't that bad. It's not like they're violating any laws. It's just that a lot of people have fear.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's what this is about. It's just living instead of worrying about other people.
Absolutely. That was my post on Facebook this morning.
Really?
It was I think I'm learning to get out of my own way. When things are presented to me often, because I like to be good at what I do, so often I don't do things.
That's me. That's me.
Because I haven't mastered it yet. So I'm like, no, being on the radio, not
Just have fun.
Yeah, just go with the flow. I didn't think about it. I didn't prepare. Obviously, I'm
Cool,
just.
but I like that.
Yeah, so I put I think I've just about abolished fear, done.
That's
so,
good.
Yeah.
Because it's better because nobody can really see you. So.
Yeah, for sure.
My dream job was always to be a news anchor, but I mean, that fear of people looking at me. I don't know if I like that part of it.
Yeah, I was just on Fox 6. It was the first time I was on a actual news, station like that, and it was a intense. I mean, it's quick, it's intense, it's live.
Right.
There's
Live
no
is
fumble.
no joke.
I was like, oh, but I survived. It was, it
Right.
worked out.
Well, good
but
for you. When was that?
that was last week. We were going on when they brought Dwayne in Sunday, so we were on, promoting the show, and I did a poem, and it was very, it was very political.
Oh, well, that's good.
So I was like, I hope this is cool. I didn't ask. I just thought, I hope this is cool, and it's live. So if it's not,
Well, freedom of speech.
Exactly.
So I have my own personal request. Could you recite the one about? I do believe it's about you and how you were brought up without a father. What's the name of that?
I do have that. I should know that. I should know what the name of it is. I'm awful at titling. So the only time I do it is when I have a CD that I have to put a title on. So I titled that My Wish.
Okay.
And I can't say that I know it all. I don't recite it, but I will do what I can.
As best as you can.
As best I can.
We're freestyling today.
Okay, perfect.
Mic check.
When he entered, it was like the whisper of the wind on a dark and rainy night. And I dreamed of this moment as a child, just reaching out to Daddy Dearest after 27 years. Was I delirious or filled with curiosity? Because I was craving to know this man who planted a seed, then fled abruptly like he rode the sea right out of his birth country. See, in the mirror, it was always a mystery. Cuban features never fully blending in with my family, forcing me to be this adult and reach out my hand. Use that commanding nature that is only seen when anger boils over inside of me. You see, for years I carried through our countless moves this one black and white photo. It was a man with boxing gloves and dark curly hair, the same hypnotizing eyes that I see in the mirror. I felt resentment because my own flesh shunned me. Still, I carried a wish in my back pocket that one day he'd return. And like those talk shows, we'd be nervous, but we'd hug and connect and forget or forgive. So on my 21st birthday, I wrote a heartfelt letter that was kind of like an essay, arranged in a way that a child would speak to a parent who'd passed away. It said, Daddy, I hate you missed my birthdays and weren't there to cheer for me backstage at my pageant. And Daddy, I wished on a million stars that you'd been there to see my first car or that scar from that skid on the bike in the alley. And Daddy, I know you love to see the great woman I've become. As I wrote this, tears were marked by numbness, then dumbness, cause forget him, he made the choice, so he had to live with it. And the thought of me feeling sadness felt ridiculous, so I tucked that letter away into the recess of my soul. Until 6 years later, like a Black Panther pacing back and forth, my soul was still unsettled. See, this idea of a heartfelt reunion had passed, but these unanswered questions I still had to ask, and I was tired of masking this internal emptiness. So to fulfill, I decided to seek him, see the resemblance with no letters, no warnings. I wanted his true response, expected no apologies because it'd been way too long, and his apologies, well, they never rewrite the wrongs. No sad songs or lullabies. He opened the door with no surprise, like the gods had warned him of my coming. Staring at the eyes from the picture, the piece of the puzzle I'd been missing. With brief handshakes and cordial introductions, I was finally discovering this artifact, this piece of my mother's past that had been forgotten. His surroundings showed me that his heart had been hardened like arteries clogged. He held no room for memories of a buried seed. Our meet and greet left my glass empty. Deep down, I wished he'd asked me so many things. I wanted to blurt out, Daddy, lavender was my favorite childhood color. Daddy, the color purple still makes me cry, though I've watched it a million times. And Daddy, I inherited your taste for Spanish foods like you cooked me dinner every night. I wonder if he noticed how stubborn we both are, how obsessively we wiped our mouths at the dinner table, and though he didn't dig deep into my past, I felt a hint of love in his awkward cling, appreciated his request to stay longer, be his guest but certainly not his daughter, the slaughter of my hopes, and the audacity of a man who said hello and goodbye for the first and last time with the very same breath. Never mind my wishes on a star. Wow.
You got it.
Isn't that? It must have been meant to be said. So hopefully somebody.
Wow, good for you. See, like when I hear you speak, I feel what you went through, and I'm gonna tell you something, Shelly. I didn't know that was your upbringing.
For sure, yeah. Just me and my
but
mom.
guess how I know? From you speaking about it.
Yeah.
So it hits me. I'm like, wow. I'm gonna tell you, I had my dad for 30 years. My dad died in 2005. So I don't know what it was like for you, but it strikes my heart each time you talk about it, because I'm like, my dad was there for everything. I can't say he wasn't. So thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
Because there's too many people that, I'm getting upset about it, but you know what I mean? Like, there's too many people that don't speak on it.
Right.
And then they're out there shooting people. Go, I don't care. Nobody cares about me. And they're holding on to what you're shooting,
Right.
What you're omitting out there. So thank you for that.
Absolutely.
I feel that.
That was that's exactly the story. Like, exactly. So I've seen them once in my whole life unless, whatever, when I was a very, very small child.
That you don't even remember.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't know what that's like. So, if he never said it, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Because you work hard.
Thank you.
Let's see this CD. Let's see what else you got on here. Cool. Whew.
I'll just mention my producer while you're looking.
Go for it.
Tricks,
you can get some shout-outs.
my brother, I call him. My god brother, because everybody knows I'm my only child. But Tricks Beats. I think he still says Beats behind it. He might have matured into just Tricks. I'm not sure. You know how people drop the...
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Where is he out of Madison?
No, he's from here. We have a studio. He runs it. He's the producer of the studio. So he's worked with tons of artists, from rappers to poets to gospel singers. He
Awesome.
does it all. He loves music and work. He loves the art of the performer. So one never outshines the other. They balance out very well.
That's good. What about Sellouts?
I might know. Look, I might know part of it. I wrote that one, actually. That's funny. From conversations in the studio.
Oh, really?
Because when it's yours, you're just always, or you can be around whenever you want. So, with the whole Obama campaign, there were lots of debates about, well, he's not black, and all this craziness. So that's where that poem came from. I know I probably don't know the whole one of this, but that's a shame I haven't memorized everything on there. That came out in 2009. I've been busy doing other things though. It starts out, aspirations to be surgeons, architects, musicians, and authors. Some kids see past those crack pipes in liquor stores to something more than stories told about factories and plantations. The weight of generational jail bars and coffins never seems to hold them down. Right within their reach, just beyond projects and playgrounds, there is a pearl waiting to emerge, hoping to be discovered until someone calls them sellout, dreamer, unrealistic, snatching their roadmap. Aspirations can switch off like clap commercials, so thanks to those who stopped chanting the mantra of black boys and black girls joining hands with white boys and white girls, maybe not as sisters and brothers, but as equals. We've eaten so much dirt and disloyalty that we're conditioned to the negative, charmed by objects of false pride on TV screens, dismissing the figures who will sign autographs in our history books. We forget those who broke barriers, carried us into new centuries, like rejecting Run DMC's. Yep, that's about when they chose to walk this way, calling out the Jeffersons for moving on up and not acknowledging Halle's beauty because she isn't black enough. I'll say this part too because I like it. We think they forgot us, as if you can erase the lines that tie you to your heritage, dilute your melanin-rich skin because they don't wear cocked hats or speak slang in public interviews. Some say they forgot where they came from. I say they open doors for our future, and I'll leave it right there. Before I mess up again.
That's fine. Okay, I'll give you a little break. You could drink some water, and we'll do some trivia. I love trivia.
Uh-oh.
I'm a little bit of a nerd. So I got these from sciencesational.com and also jsonline.com. So the question is, what animal can produce a sound that's 188 decibels loud and can be heard up to 530 miles away. Pretty interesting, right?
Pretty interesting. I know I'm wrong, but I think of a bird, and I think of a I know this is wrong too, but I think of for some reason I think of a dolphin. They have that crazy.
You're close. It's a blue whale.
Oh, check. That was my first thought. Was a dolphin. So I should have just went with that.
The blue whale actually is the biggest animal. I do believe the biggest animal in the world, like mammal. I don't know if whales are mammals.
English.
I'm going too far.
I just did English. That was all I was good at.
They're the biggest. They're like 90 feet.
That's ridiculous.
They're huge and big masses.
Wow.
Of animals. So, which animal lays the largest egg in the world?
Well, I would have to think. Well, I would say what's the largest animal in the world, but that's not it.
No, I think they give
largest.
It's gonna throw you off because it threw me off when I found out the answer. It's a shark. I didn't know they had eggs, but yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, that I wouldn't have guessed.
Okay, what's the smallest bone in the human body?
Oh, I couldn't name. Well, let me not say I couldn't name one bone, but I don't know.
It's pretty easy.
The ankle bone. No, I'm just kidding. I know that's not it.
It's the stapes or the stirrup in the middle ear. It's 0.11, so 11/10 of an inch.
You were smart in school, weren't you?
I just like having useless information.
Yeah. What's your sign? Do you mind me asking?
I'm a Scorpio.
Okay.
Yeah. I like science. I like physics.
Yeah,
I'm not a know-it-all though. That's the best part. Like
just research and
some
learning.
people think I might have a little bit of know-it-all, but not at all. I just like knowing things.
Information.
Yeah.
Got it.
I tried out for Jeopardy in 1996.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's something to even say.
Jessica
I want to.
Jones. We went
from
North Division. That was
wow.
the first. Hello. That was the first time we flew, and she covered her head up with her jacket, and I felt alone. It was crazy.
Wow.
Shout out to her.
Yeah.
She just had a baby.
Really?
Yep. She's doing good.
Good.
Okay, let's see. How are you?
Pretty good.
That's good. Thanks for coming in. Let's see. How can someone get your CD?
They actually have it at Woodland Pattern. Right down the way. On what is it? Is it 820? No, 420 East Locust, something like that. I think it's 820 Woodland Pattern, that library that's been around forever.
Okay.
I think it's 824, 820, something like that on Locust.
Okay.
On East Locust. So it's there, and of course, I don't travel with a backpack, but I do generally have them. I do generally have my CDs. If you catch me somewhere, I keep them with me in my car.
Okay, good.
And of course, I am at Poetry Unplugged every Tuesday.
It's so cute how you talk like everybody knows you, but they don't.
Right. I think I'm talking to you, but there's a whole crew out there.
You have an audience. You just can't see them. It's kind of cool.
It is. Yeah. So I go to Poetry Unplugged every Tuesday. There's a live band, open mic. That was the group that brought part of the group that brought Dwayla in. So I generally have them there too. I've been taught to keep them on me because I don't think about it, you know?
Right.
So yeah, I generally have them.
Good. So how would you encourage someone, like a young person who, it doesn't even have to be into poetry, but like how would you encourage a young person that you see struggling?
Struggling just period?
Yeah.
I think to really research where those things come from that put you in the place of struggle. So not necessarily financially,
Right.
But things I think we carry over so many issues. The father poem that I did. I mean, I ran into a girl that I used to hang out with probably when I was about 18. I ran into her like 2 years ago. And I hadn't seen her in years. And she said, you know what? I remember when we used to go out, you used to always say, I don't have a daddy. I was like, really? I used to say
Wow.
that. Like, I don't even remember. But clearly it was an issue, an unresolved
hurts you.
issue. Right. So for years. And that poem and that trip was, you know, the beginning of the healing for that. So, and I think just find the way, the thing that will allow you to get those things out. So for me, it is poetry. If it's music, if it's, you know, dance, something positive, painting, cooking, I mean, whatever it's going to be that, you know, can be therapeutic to you, I think we have to encourage each other to, you know, to do those kinds of things.
Not just kids, but all
Right,
of us.
all of us,
I
right.
see a lot of adults struggling right now with just wanting to find their own niche, you know. So, yeah.
And I think take time for yourself. Like, I literally meditate every morning. I don't want to say meditate, but quiet time, I'll
Quiet
call
time,
it.
relax.
Where I do my reading. And it might be 5 minutes if that's what it permits. It might be 30 minutes if it permits. But that gets me grounded and settled and, you know, and lets me take positivity into my day. So.
Do you remember the poem you said? It's on YouTube. It's an older one from '08. I'm trying to think of it. Where you're talking about the kids with the $100 this and that.
Oh, Mentally Enslaved.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
Mentally Enslaved.
Yeah, that's on, actually that one and the first one I did on my first CD, which I still have a few
Right.
copies of.
Yeah, I would love to hear that one.
Got it. Okay. That one I know. Easy.
Thank you.
We as a people are no further ahead than the days of Harriet, leading people through the Underground Railroad. See, at least in those days, we felt good in our souls about who we were. And despite the lack of everything around us, mamas and daddies instilled self-love and self-pride. And even as daddies were swept away without a peep, mamas and babies still thanked God every day, every week, and every time they opened their eyes. Thank God we've survived another night. But now we here in this 21st century, we have so many amenities available that we can't decide whether to spend our payroll on Jordan, Tommy, J-Lo, or Polo, or maybe some man that we're keeping on the down low. And since formal slavery is dead, we've had ingrained in our heads by those whose ancestors were the slave owners that our great-grandparents so dreaded back in the day that we need their labels and tags to put on our back to prove to our own people that we're about something. Never mind the fact that our kids are flunking out of the second grade because at least their gear is fly. See, we've got babies wearing $100 clothes, learning to play dominoes, but stumbling over their elemental P's. It could be that they can't focus in class because they're distracted by the interaction of you and your man getting high on a school night, or maybe it's the fight the two of you had. Baby can't go to sleep because she's got nightmares of daddy lighting into mama bad, and I'm not coming down on my fellas because if we flip the script, it could be that baby can't sleep because mama's a slave to the glass pipe or the powder, and she comes in late at night screaming and hollering for daddy to keep baby just a little while longer so she can get one more hit for the night. It's a lot of what ifs and whys, but the bottom line is we are mentally enslaved. See, we'll spend $50 a week to get our nails done, and I messed those prices up, but you could tell I don't get my nails done.
Right.
So I had a young lady in the audience say aloud, "It's more than that." Okay, well, I don't know because I don't go. So anyway, $15 a week to get our nails done, and $50 a week to get our hair done, and $50 a week to get our Friday going out gear if we shop at the discount chains, and a bill if designer names the way we live. And come Monday, we've spent a bill or two all on some things to impress our own people, those who should have love for us anyway because they are just that, our own people. But we've been mentally enslaved to believe that our self-worth has little to do with who we are on the inside. We try to gain our self-pride through other folk while society has us dangling by this rope just like the olden days, and we don't even know it. They've got us choked up and they don't even show it, and meanwhile we look down on those who have not, but God bless the child who's got its own. See, we should be proud of ourselves without those material things. When we don't have a penny to our names, we should still look back feeling superior, because if we made it with nothing, we should have nothing to fear, and we have so many possibilities in this century. So really, our lives should be much greater than this current situation, and so many things we're facing we brought on ourselves, and it's going to get worse and worse until we teach our youth something different. Life ain't all about cash, money, and cars, and everybody can't live like a movie star. And y'all, can't we just raise the bar for our own expectations? What are we teaching our babies if we go and get our hair done and it's a bill for them and a bill for you? And what's up with all these damn tennis shoes? See, we need to invest in our future lives. Nike and Hilfiger should not be the focus in K5. And can we start spending some of those dimes to support our local black businesses? Stop tripping on their prices if it's $1 or $2 higher than the next place, and dressing those babies like junior drug dealers ain't cute, man. You'll get what you're asking for, knowing or not the day they call saying they've been caught up or shot. And yeah, it's all good with the natural hairdos, it's cool, but let's see how long it lasts. When it ain't a fad anymore, will you be running to the Chinese store to get some do-grow because your nappy fro won't grow no more? Or will you say, look here, this is who I be, so love it or leave it. Thank God I am free.
That was good.
Thank you.
I like that one. Because we all know that that's around, so.
Mm-hmm. Yep, for sure. Unfortunately.
So, what encourages you?
Oh, I'm a sucker for music. So if I'm
like
having
when you get on those kicks where you're like on some Nas or,
right,
or whoever, I'm like, she's over there doing it.
Yep, he's been in the CD player since for about 2 days now.
That's good.
So yeah, I've loved music like forever and ever. So if I feel myself, down, I'll pop on, depending, I might pop on some Indie Irie, I might pop on some gospel music. My Pandora is always, rolling. Reading, like I just maybe last summer finished reading Purpose Driven Life, and that was like the first kind of spiritual book I read. I mean, I've done Iyanla Vanzant, and you know what I'm saying, but right. Actual spiritual with verses and whatever.
Oh, nice.
And I found myself when I finished it in the morning, I felt empty after it was done. You know what I mean? So, wow. And I picked up another book, but it didn't have the spiritual aspect. Right. And so I had to go back to that, so that inspires me. Yeah. People
and how's
doing
your
that.
Mom?
She's good. She just turned 60 really? On this Tuesday.
That's cool.
She's an evangelist.
Nice. And, shout out to Shelly's mom.
Yep. Mama Banks, they call her. So no, she's doing good.
That's good.
Yeah.
She was always very supportive. That's what I remember about her. I haven't seen her since we were kids, but
yeah,
she's really nice. I think she went to wasn't she at the gathering?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, she was with me. Then. Yeah, for sure.
We're going to close out the show, so
okay.
You could say if you want any shout-outs or anything to anybody.
Yeah, I would just like to quickly shout out. I am the stage manager for Hansberry Sands production that's showing in September, the 14th through the 16th, and then the following weekend.
Okay.
Ceremonies in Dark Old Men. It's a classic play.
Where's this at?
It's going to be at the Marcus... I still say Marcus Amphitheater. What is it called? Marcus Center for Performing Arts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, throwback.
We're old school.
So it'll be shown there. So definitely shout out to Hansberry Sands. And I already talked about PU and to everyone who gives me encouraging words along the way, because it's not easy to, get up and share and whatnot. So when people let me know how it impacts them, I appreciate that, and I keep going.
So you like feedback?
I love feedback, yeah.
That's
nice
good.
Feedback. Like
right.
Erykah Badu said, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive, yes. But yeah, no, I appreciate feedback. And I've been able to travel a lot, so I've seen a lot of different, styles and things like that. So that pushes me to do better too. So
wow.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're doing great.
Thank you.
Please continue, because we do need to hear your voice.
Sure.
You're actually giving a voice to the voiceless, because a lot of people don't speak on what you talk about, even though it's deep embedded in such a problem. So I thank you.
Thank you.
And I will close out with this quote. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of other opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. And that quote was by Steve Jobs.
Lovely.
Right?
Very fitting.
So God bless you, everyone out there, and have a good weekend.